Today we are going to see the most dangerous spiders and frogs, snakes that could kill 2 million mice with only one bite, snail that will kill you faster than you smoke a single cigarette, and the most dangerous ants in the world straight from the Guinness Book of Records. This is the 15 dangerous creatures for humans, and here we go. Found in the warm waters in the tropics, these beautiful creatures, instantly recognizable for their highly prized brown and white marbled shells. But do not dare to touch the 4 to 6 inch long gastropods. Their concealed, harpoon-like teeth contain a complex venom known as conotoxin. One drop of venom from this bugger is enough to end 20 human lives. Sometimes colloquially known as the cigarette snail, it has been said that when you are stung by this creature, you'll just have about enough time to smoke a cigarette before you stop breathing. It's not like it matters anyway though. There is no anti-venom. Often found floating or moving at speeds close to 5 miles per hour in the Indo-Pacific waters north of Australia, these transparent, nearly invisible invertebrates are considered one of the most venomous and dangerous marine animals in the world. Their namesake cubic frames contain up to 15 tentacles at the corners, with each growing as much as 10 feet long, all lined with thousands of stinging cells that contain toxins that simultaneously attack the heart, nervous system, and skin cells. While antivenoms do exist, the venom is so potent and overwhelming that many human victims, of the hundreds of reported fatal encounters each year, have been known to go into shock and drown or die of heart failure before reaching shore. Native to Colombia's Pacific coast, the beautiful but deadly golden poison frog, Phyllobates terribilis, is one of the most poisonous animals on the planet. Small enough to fit comfortably in your palm, though picking it up would be the last thing you'd do. It nevertheless has enough poison in its skin secretions to kill 10,000 mice, 20 men, or 2 African elephants. This frog is rumored to have ended the lives of people who have touched it, while chickens and dogs have died from contact with a paper towel it has merely walked on. Defining the term most venomous as the most toxic to humans. The world's most venomous spider is the male Sydney funnel web spider. Native to Sydney and its environs within the Australian state of New South Wales, where it can be found in moist habitats including under logs or foliage and frequenting gardens too. In this species, just 0.2 milligrams of the male's venom is a lethal dose for humans. The venom itself is a neurotoxin which appears to be particularly effective against primates. Within minutes of being bitten, the victim may suffer extreme symptoms such as muscle spasms, palpitations, vomiting, confusion, and swelling of the brain. In some cases, death has followed in as little as 15 minutes after the bite occurred. There are numerous arachnids who pack some potent poison in their bites, but the Brazilian wandering spider is one of the most impressive body count. These babies are responsible for multiple human deaths each year as a result of their vicious bite, which delivers a toxin that blocks calcium channels in the brain. But the main danger of the Brazilian spider is its behavior. No wonder he was nicknamed as Wandering, because they do not build webs, but wander on the forest floor at night, actively hunting prey. This wandering way leads this spider into people's houses. Some of the species also can be found throughout Latin America, from Costa Rica to Argentina. When used to refer to animal attacks, the word deadliest means how many humans are killed by that animal yearly. This cute little guy is a saw-scaled viper, gauging from the fact that it kills more people than all of the top 5 most venomous land snakes out there. Its venom, however, is lethal in less than 10% of untreated victims. But the snake is so extremely aggressive and fearless that it bites early and often everything that moves in front of its eyes. So what is the most dangerous snake in the world if it bit you? Known in the world is the Belcher sea snake. A few milligrams is strong enough to kill 1,000 people, or approximately 2.5 million mice. Fortunately, less than 1/4 of bites will contain venom, and they are relatively docile. Fishermen are usually the victims of these bites, as they encounter the species when they pull nets from the ocean. found throughout waters off Southeast Asia and northern Australia. Okay, that's good to know that it doesn't really apply to us, humans who don't fish with nets or go scuba diving. But the most venomous land snake was, to my memory, and still is, the inland taipan, having venom 50 times stronger than a cobra. The maximum yield recorded for one bite is 110 milligrams, enough to kill about 100 humans or 250,000 mice. Fortunately for Americans, it resides in Australia, the country in which I like to jokingly refer to as God's Monster Island, where he decided to make a place, isolated from the rest of the world, to do mad scientist experiments with creatures. But fortunately for Australians, the inland taipan is not particularly aggressive and is rarely encountered by humans in the wild. However, if it did bite you, you won't have enough time to get to the nearest hospital. The most dangerous ant in the world, straight from the Guinness Book of Records. There have been at least 3 human fatalities since 1936, the latest a Victorian farmer in 1988. The bulldog ant earned its name because of its ferocity and determination during an attack. It is extremely aggressive and shows little fear of human beings, stinging a number of times in quick succession and therefore injecting more venom with each bite. In an attack, the ant will hold on to its victim with long, toothed mandibles, curl its body underneath, and thrust its long barbell sting into the skin. On a few occasions, this sting has been enough to kill adults within 15 minutes. Ixodes scapularis is commonly known as the deer tick. Every year infects thousands of people with Lyme disease. Lyme disease begins with a rash around the bite resembling a bull's eye. Early symptoms include headache and fever. As time passes, the victim will suffer stiff joints and heart problems. Few victims die from this disease, but their suffering can go on for years. Triatoma infestans, also known as kissing bug. This is a blood-sucking bug, common in South America and Central America, and the most important vector of the Trypanosoma cruzi, a parasitic trypanosome protozoan. About 45,000 to 50,000 people die each year from kissing bug bites. Trypanosoma cruzi causes Chagas disease, a deadly disease that may result in irreversible damage to the nervous system, muscle tissue, and the heart, eventually causing death. Tsetse are large biting flies and are found in mid-continental. This insect is the primary vector of the Trypanosoma brucei, the causative agent of African sleeping sickness in humans. Most of the deaths are in Africa. About 300,000 people die each year. 1 to 3 weeks after the bite begins the fevers, headaches, itchiness, and joint pains. Weeks to months later begins the second stage with confusion, poor coordination, numbness, and trouble sleeping. Without treatment, this disease is invariably fatal, with progressive mental deterioration leading to coma and death. Fleas are external parasites that feed on the blood of mammals and birds. These animals can transmit serious diseases such as typhus and bubonic plague. One of the more deadly fleas is one you'd find on a rat, the oriental rat flea, the primary vector for bubonic plague, carrying the most notable being the Yersinia pestis bacteria. Back to 14th century, nearly 3/4 of Europe's population died due to this bacteria. Better known as the Black Death, this plague killed more than 100 million people in the world during 1348 to 1350, which was 22.2% of the world population in that time. Mosquitoes are the most dangerous insect species on Earth. This deadliest insect causes 1 million deaths every year by transmitting dangerous malaria disease. Mosquitoes carry malaria germs from one place to another, and they transmit germs into the blood of victim by biting. WHO estimated that in every 30 seconds, a child dies due to malaria, and 500 million cases of malaria reported every year. Actually, malaria is a blood-transmitting disease. This disease won't affect by contact with the sick person. It is transmitted through parasites, mainly by bites of mosquitoes. In addition to malaria, mosquitoes also spreads dengue fever, yellow fever, encephalitis, and West Nile virus. Surprised? After all, we've been killing each other for thousands of years, with the deaths from war alone estimated at between 150 million and 1 billion. It's a no-brainer that we top the list. Though human beings are said to be living in the most peaceful period now than any other time in our history, we still assault each other with incredibly high rates of senseless brutality. From gun violence in cities like Munich and Fort Lauderdale to terrorist attacks around the globe. We're dangerous to other animals too. Think global warming and the destruction of forests and coral reefs. Given the threat we pose to countless other creatures, and the fact that we often act irrationally and have the capacity to annihilate our entire planet with a host of horrifying weapons like nuclear devices and genetically modified superbugs, we are squarely atop the list as the most dangerous creatures in the world.